Beep, beep. Oh, it's the Trusty 8 podcast, fashionably late. I forgot to account for the additional time riding the bus. Okay, we'll get right into it. Get right on into it. You may have noticed I am still here. Hmm, yes. So, snafu. Yeah. Today was rough. I had a very particular plan for my day. Things did not go as planned, and we had to adapt. And so, readjust here. My car is out of commission for the time being. I am not sure what the piece is called, but looking online, I think it is called the control arm, the rear control or control rod, one or the other. It's like a thing that runs. Yeah, it's busted, and so the back end of my car is all worker, and it's definitely not good. So I just parked it and rode the bus. Yep. So, but I did get a ride lined up for tomorrow. So we're going to go down there, pay my rent, get my keys, start moving stuff in, and figure it out. I got a couple days to figure it out. So that's where I'm at. Hello, monkey lovers. I saw Skyworks 600 early in the comments. Much love, Skyworks. Um, Focus, damn you, brain, focus. Because there's things to say. There's kind of be a short solo one because I actually have to get my happy ass up early in the morning and be a responsible adult in the grown up world. It's weird. I was thinking that earlier. Like Richard was saying, that is my, now I'm finally growing up. Richard Madsen, one of our talks recently, and it was like, yeah, out here acting like a big boy in the big boy world and doing adult things, and all that. But in a way, it's like the flip side of that. Because like I told him, I felt like I was back at school, and in a lot of ways, it does feel like that. But in a weird way, it's kind of liberating because you can be more yourself, and it's not so much of uh, this masking going on, which was what I was going to talk about initially. But as we're starting late and everything, I don't know. Go to bed. Not yet. I just got home. I don't wind down that quickly. I just can't. I'm just not one of those people. Uh, I'm like a friggin'. I am not. I'm not a total insomniac anymore. Although I have had like bouts with bad insomnia, but yeah, I have. I still have some trouble falling asleep, and then I don't know what it is. I'm super hypersensitive to certain things when I'm asleep. So sometimes I just like wake up randomly when I wasn't really supposed to. Like right now, I'm pretty used to my alarms. So my first alarm is like 7:30. And then I give myself a number of alarms so I can snooze that one 15 minutes. Then I get a 7:45. Then I get an 8:15, that type of thing. But usually I will wake up um, about 15 minutes before that first 7:30 alarm. And then it just kind of depends on my mood from there, whether I want to, try to take a nap or something. Hey, Bree, great to see you. Bzz. Um, and so the household I'm moving into is pet friendly. So yeah, I haven't spoken to her about beetles yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. But she has cats, so I don't think it's like, and plus my room is detached from the house, so shouldn't really affect things too much, I don't think. But yeah, what was I talking about? um, right. Subtlety. Not very good with subtlety sometimes. I guess there's moments, but um, I've had people say things to me very directly lately in a nice way, both in and outside of work. It seems like those little nuggets of they're like planting seeds in your brain, and then so this guy told me an interesting story at the we were at the gas pump together, And he says to me out of nowhere, he goes, "Man, I really wanted to become a cop. I went and applied for a job with the police department down here." I said, "Okay, that's cool." He goes, "But then last week they caught me taking a shit in the bushes." I was like, "All right, that's interesting." He's like, "So now I can't be a cop anymore because I self-reported." I was like, "What?" I had to think about it a couple times. I was like, "Oh, that's something I said. That's something I said." Um, so, no doubt, like random strangers heard. I don't know. I don't know how the shit that works. I'm just gonna stop because that's another problem. Like the way I'm explaining this, I'm making a lot of assumptions. Yeah, I'm making a lot of assumptions. I mean, some of it, is logical, but you don't really know how things happen, and so you have to say, "Well, I don't know. That's kind of mysterious." Um, but but you definitely know there's something going on behind the curtain, and by behind the curtain, I just mean in the realm of things you literally can't. You're not attached to. You can't see the machinations. Like I'm not saying there's any thing behind the thing. Why did that happen? Oh no, I never even connected my headphones, and I didn't notice because we didn't start watching videos like I usually do. So I was like, why did that happen? My headphones just like randomly turned off, and I have a full battery. Oops. Um, if we were gonna watch a video, I don't know. I don't know what we'd want to watch. Something on autism masking. I feel like it's something that really needs to be reiterated over and over again for people because we don't see the high functioning autists around us all the time, and people make you know jokes about it and stuff, but like yeah, people put themselves through a lot of shit. We're no different. We just do it a little differently, I guess. So yeah, so like that, yeah, internalizing shit. um internalize. Let's see, what was the other thing I was gonna write a list, but I'm over that. I've done that before. Um, it's just like all the topics that are swirling through your head when you're not talking, and then when you try to articulate them, you're just like, "Whoa, this is discombobulated." So, oh yeah. Um, did I write a note? Where's my notes? I thought I wrote a note. Maybe no, no, I don't. Okay, that was a different thing. So yeah, I don't know. I'm open to conversation if anybody wants to come in, but like I said, I won't be hanging around too long, so I don't know how much that'll do. But um, I'll leave you all to your own devices if you you run the room without me. Yeah, I fell asleep on a Cat and Sammy the other night, so that was fun. We got like a 7 hour stream, but it was like 4 hours of content, and then I don't know how long they kept talking before they realized that I was out of the picture. And then I woke up, the stream was still running, so I had to go shut it off. So, yeah, which tells you how long I slept, right? Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a fun day. That was a fun day. Oh, so yeah, I'm gonna be working on aside from the usual. I got my stupid monkey videos done before today, and cool. That's all good. That's all good. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, the channel intro thing. Finally trying to fix that up. Get a new one for the other channel and stuff. Although I don't really know if a philosophy channel really needs an intro. Maybe you just have like like an opening screen or something. And keep it short and sweet. I don't know. Plus, I don't really do much live over there, so it also seems to. Um, Jody, all right.
My oh, my left eye is
Really?
killing me.
Oh no, what happened? Something
I
happened?
don't know. I woke up with it. You know how sometimes you get like a tingle in your eye?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, mine's like that, but it's pretty severe.
I don't know. Do you have any type of like what do you call that?
Eye
Ocular, like I
drops.
have astigmatism. No, no, no. I mean like I have like a do you have like a blindness of any kind or like anything like that?
Um, Not really. Well, last summer I hit it with a grapevine and it scratched my the surface of my eye.
Oh
Oh,
no.
yeah. So it comes and goes. It'll be fine, and then I don't know out of nowhere it just starts aching and hurting again. I don't
I
know.
had that happen a few years ago. I got a piece of insulation stuck in my eye, and it took
Really?
me, yeah, like a whole day. I had to have one of the doctors at the place where I was working. He helped me get it out.
Wow.
But yeah, never been the same since.
How did I do that? Anyway, excuse me.
That's all right. I don't know how long you were listening in prior to coming in, but my head was going, a bunch of different places. So I was
Yeah,
like,
don't
we
you
didn't
love
really
that?
have a topic. Yeah. Um, do you know anything about ASD, the autism spectrum?
Not really.
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't know if you had any experience with it. It's something that well, I'm not formally diagnosed with it, but I'm self-diagnosed with it at this point. I'm pretty sure that's at least part of what's going on with me and stuff, and some of the things I've been experiencing. So, um, yeah, just
Is
kind of
it
learning to.
highly sensitive?
Um, in some ways, yes. I mean, I have yeah, I have um, I have sensory issues, but I'm high masking, so people kind of don't understand why I freak out sometimes over things that other people would just get over. So
Yeah. So when you say freak out, you mean like feel like you're crawling out of your skin?
right, yeah, I can't focus. The walls are closing in, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Is generally what it is, or so it's a fight or flight, broken fight or flight. I either have a heightened response to something really benign, or I go into like a catatonic state, something like that. Um, but there's very particular triggers for it, and there's the way that I cope with it. Um, Generally seems to kind of fall into the pattern of behaviors that we refer to as the autism spectrum. So, um,
Okay.
yeah, I
So
don't
where do
know.
you fall on the spectrum? Excuse me.
Well, I'm considering I'm considered. I mean, at least as far as the self test that I took online, I am on what's the low number end of the spectrum, which is considered the highest functioning and closer to ADD. But
Oh,
there is like a divider line. I don't remember what the number was, 60 something or something like that. It was like the very lowest end where ADD becomes autism on the spectrum.
oh.
Yeah.
I feel like I knew that, but I I guess I never really took any of it seriously. So I mean, I'm not trying to downplay your stuff, but
No, I understand, and that was kind of the way I was. I always said, well, I don't need help with this, and I could just control this behavior, and and I didn't really see the behaviors I was doing. I remember doing strange things as a kid,
yeah.
which I now know are called stimming, stimming
Stunning.
behaviors. Right? Yeah, kind of unusual um, sensory. Like I would, my son does exactly the same thing. I would, if I get excited, I put my hands against my face like this and rub my eyes. And my son does exactly the same thing. And I still have to sometimes control my urge to do it. It's not as frequent.
Okay.
And like when you get the butterflies in your stomach or something, you know, it's similar. You can feel it throughout your entire body, and something makes you react this way, and you don't really have an explanation for it. And other people see it, and they just think that's weird, uh, but then as a kid growing up, you become really self conscious about it, and people make fun of you, and your parents tell you not to do that. And according to most of the research, they're saying that's just not the way that autism should be handled anymore.
Okay. So
Um,
I did go through a similar thing with my son. I mean, I do remember him getting like that butterfly feeling in the morning before he goes to school, and then he would give me a hard time. And the therapist that he saw said that basically he was playing me, and I knew there was more to it, but um, I guess she was trying to get my son to own it, and my son just refused to listen to this therapist. She thought she just didn't know what she was talking about.
And she might not have. Yeah, she might have
Right,
had a wrong opinion. I've had a number of therapists as a kid, and it was a totally mixed bag. So I had
right.
one that I liked a lot, and my mom hated him. And then I had one that both me and my mom liked, and then I had one that my mom liked a lot, and I hated that person. As far as no, hate's a strong term, but as far as
Yeah,
therapeutic treatment, it was just not beneficial. So
yeah,
um, and then most of them, honestly, I was really indifferent to because don't really get to if you don't form a strong attachment with a therapist or a bond of some kind, then it's really like you're not actually going to get anything out of it. You're not going to tell
right.
them the right things. You're not going to be receptive to anything they're saying. So
Because you're
you
not
have to be able to
comfortable.
bond with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
It's like the guy I'm talking to now. I feel like we're totally on the same level, but he checks me a lot too. Because as soon as it seems like we're agreeing too much, he goes, hold on, wait, walk that thought back. What did you just say there? Um, but yeah, I have that same level of like confidence in it, and we've never met in person. We only have in phone session, in over the phone sessions. So I don't even get to see the guy's face, but I don't know. There's something about his voice that is soothing. The fact that he understands the things I'm describing, and seems to give good advice wherever he does give advice. Therapists don't do that a whole lot, but there's more feedback. It's not just the whole "tell me how you feel" thing, and then yeah.
Yeah, my son had a therapist during COVID. I think it was at the beginning of COVID, actually. And it was instead of going to an office and visiting his normal therapist, he ended up with a therapist over the phone, and he actually did much better. He seemed to look forward to the therapy, and then the therapist and I would discuss where Josh was at, and I don't know, he did much better than going to the office and worrying about everything, when it comes to being in a big office. And I don't know, because he would get really uncomfortable. He didn't want to leave the house, and yeah,
Yeah, I get that. I went through periods like that a lot in my teens. So, but and recently that was kind of, I went back out working in the public again,
okay,
which I've been kind of like in and out of since COVID. And so I'm, where I am is a very busy place. We, hundreds and hundreds of patrons every day, and I have to deal with a lot of them in a very fast paced environment. And I've done this before, but it's been a few years, and just with all the other things going on in my life, I just was not prepared for it. And
Right.
so again, what started hitting these sensory triggers, and I just started uh, trying to quit smoking cigarettes
Oh,
at the
really?
beginning of the year. So yeah, all that came together, and I mean, the people that it was my coworkers who had to have seen the pattern of I'm totally fine, normal behavior, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I lose my mind and I start literally running around in circles like a chicken. Well, not literally, but very close to running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Like, just totally lose my focus. I'm at work. I'm trying to redirect my thoughts, and I'm just bouncing around, bouncing off the walls like a freaking pinball. I do not know where I'm supposed to be, and it's like it's
Right.
not a super, like I said, it's just dealing with people. It's not a super difficult job, but it's also like
A
a
sensory
job.
thing.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's a job where I have to become objective. Like the other people are getting emotional, I have to de-escalate. I can't get into the emotion with them. But when, you know what
Okay.
I mean? That was the problem. I was amping up with them. Or in some situations I was the one escalating it.
Yeah.
But it was a response to that sensory stimulation and me not using the proper coping techniques.
Okay.
So now that's where I've gone back to kind of being able to, now I can act a little weird and I don't care if it makes people laugh. I can deal with them and I can laugh back at them and I can, do what I need to do my job and not freak out, right? And like every time I get that sensory trigger, I say, "Oh, there's my trigger." And I take a deep breath and I face it and I say, "Okay, now I'm not going to let that like it sounds it sounds like just willpower, but it's more of like a process of like rewiring the way you respond to things, right? Like,
Okay.
yeah, because anywhere on the spectrum, you tend to react to things very quickly. Your mind's working at a faster pace than most people,
Right.
and so that's where kind of the wiring gets crossed sometimes. Is that when you react to a thing that you may perceive as a threat that isn't threatening, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I have 6 kids, and all of them have been diagnosed with ADHD. I've never been diagnosed, but chances are I probably have it.
So I've heard people say, and I don't know what the consensus is on this now. I've heard people say that ADHD is kind of a bullshit diagnosis,
Okay.
and essentially it just means that you're probably somewhere on the spectrum and you have a lot of energy, which is fairly common, but not necessarily like a universal thing, right? But when they say ADHD and usually they're diagnosing young kids, you're like, yeah, they're hyperactive. They're little kids. They're supposed to
Yeah.
be hyper. Like all little kids are hyper. This one just happens to be, have different behaviors, or they might even be a little bit advanced and a little bit defiant because they understand things better than other children do.
Okay.
And then so they just slap this label ADHD. Oh well, you can't pay attention and you're hyper. Look at you. You know what I mean? So I think it's a bad diagnosis. I've heard other people say that as well.
Yeah, like my son, he was diagnosed with both types of ADD, general and social.
Yeah,
And plus, he has depressive disorder, which I guess depression comes along with ADHD or ADD. Uh,
yeah,
anyway,
and
go ahead.
we can also confuse sometimes like we have like episodes of depression that kind of come their own episodes, and then we have burnout, which comes with the spectrum, right? Like, so you start doing really well, and then you get to a point where yeah, I guess you refer to as mania, that high point, and you crash, right? And so that's burnout, and a lot of people will confuse it with depression because it looks very similar and there can be the same symptoms. But
Okay.
burnout's usually like, in our situation, I mean, I don't know about other. I mean, I'd say in my situation, I could tell the difference when I have a lasting depression as opposed to a burnout episode where it's
Sure.
like a day or something.
Okay. Do you lose the appetite or do you
Oh,
get
well, I
sick?
already kind of have poor appetite to begin with.
Oh, you do?
So yeah, but if I'm having real depression, yeah, that's one telling sign is I will not eat for sometimes days. Although I'm better about that now, but I used to.
But not eating, does that help with not taxing the digestive system so that you're, I don't know, that I don't, because I know like when I stop eating and just have what do you call that? Just liquid, like usually
Yeah,
water
like
and
fasting.
yeah, fasting. Um, when I do that, everything becomes clearer. So I'm just curious, like when you stop eating because you're depressed, or anybody, is that a way to treat it or
No,
not?
I don't think so. Not in that
Okay.
case. It's usually because your mind is too preoccupied with something negative, I think, and then there's
Oh
even
yeah.
like there's if food would even become like unpalatable, like because you can no longer enjoy it, which is what true depression is, right? You lose enjoyment, you lose a sense of that sensation. So yeah. So you don't even enjoy eating. You don't even have a craving for food. You don't really feel hunger pains so much, or you tend to block them out, I think.
Okay.
Um, but again, this is my experience. I also I experience a lot of like regular stomach pains. So um, I, I don't,
Like an IBS,
what's that?
irritable bowel syndrome.
Oh yeah. No, I don't know. The way I would describe mine is like the way that I've heard people describe like from when you're addicted to heroin, but I've never been addicted to heroin. But since
Right.
I was given so many pharmaceuticals when I was a kid, I think it may have done something with that.
Wow.
Because I don't remember really feeling that at a very young age. I also overdosed on iron when I was like a toddler, so I don't know. Maybe it's just all of the above just messed up my stomach real early. Um,
How do you overdose on iron?
you eat a whole bottle of Flintstones chewable vitamins.
Really? Oh god.
Yep.
I didn't know iron could do that.
Yes, it can. It's
Because
very
I've
bad.
mostly been deficient in iron myself. So, like
Yeah.
all my pregnancies, my doctors over the years have prescribed iron for me because I've always been anemic when I'm pregnant.
Right. Yeah. No, I've never had really a problem with it. I guess when I was very young and I barely remember it, I just really enjoyed the taste of the Flintstones vitamins. And once again, I was very advanced, so I just went down under the bathroom sink and opened the childproof container and helped myself. And
Oh.
mom came in and went, "Oh shit," So
What happened to you? Did they pump your
I
stomach
ended up,
or?
yeah, I ended up having to get my stomach pumped. I was there for a little bit. It was kind of an ordeal, but I don't remember it very well. So
Oh.
I know it scared the hell out of my mom. So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Kids, kids can do some crazy things.
what I think is crazy is why did I like Flintstones vitamins? Like those things didn't taste good. I mean, they probably do now, but back then that was, the early '90s. That it tasted like garbage.
There was probably something in there that your taste buds wanted more of.
I guess so.
Because they say that about like a horse will chew on a fence, a wooden fence, because there's something in that fence that is satisfying something their body needs.
That makes sense. I have to say hello to the
Deconverted
lobster.
man. Deconverted?
Yes. Deconverted man is a very logical guy. And no, good peoples, good peoples. I recommend checking it out if you're into that sort of thing.
So nobody gets an actual name?
A name, wait, what?
Like a conventional name, like Tom, Dick, Harry.
Oh. Well, my name's Kevin. I mean, but I don't, yeah. We're not big on that around here. You know, some people have been doxxed. You know, the world's a scary place. It's the internet.
Oh. Wait a minute. What does docs mean?
It's when somebody gives out your personal information to strangers to troll you on the internet, but it's like your actual home address or your place of work or your telephone number, things like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oop, let's get to it. You can call me
Dan.
Dan Green. That is my fake internet name. Yep.
Wait a minute. Your name is Dan Green?
No, this is Deconverted Man. Sorry if
Oh,
I went a
okay.
little fast. Yeah.
Dan Green.
Um, yeah, he also used it for his books. Yeah, he has some published work and stuff available. Post your stuff in the chat. We'll go through the lobsterist tonight, just to make things a little interesting. Even though it's no longer April Fool's Day, um, is it still April Fool's Day in Hawaii? I don't remember. I think they get a little extra time. Where my good friend is stationed for the U.S. Army. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, I fell asleep at like 9 o'clock.
Oop.
And I got at least 5 hours.
What time zone are you in?
I am in the Eastern Standard.
Oh, damn. Okay,
I'm on the
yeah.
East Coast.
Sounds
I'm
about
in New
right.
York. I'm a New Yorker.
Got you. My brother's out there in prison upstate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in prison.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
is.
tough.
Well, not as tough for me as it is for him.
Oh, I know. That's what I mean. Well, for both.
Yeah, we have some familial guilt. Would you call it? Yeah, familial guilt.
Familiar.
Oh, now you've
Oh,
posted too much. Which one do I go through? Okay, here, lobsterist. We'll do that. Sorry, I'm reading
no,
comments.
you're fine.
Um,
I'm trying to find the chat
yeah.
right now.
So I'm the oldest. Uh,
You're the oldest?
yeah, I'm the oldest of a totally broken family. So all my siblings are half siblings, and we all have. Yeah, we're very, you know, discombobulated.
How many of them are there?
Okay, wait. So there's me, 5 all together. Is that right? I have to. Yes, 5. So
Wow.
I'm the only one from my mom and my dad. Then my dad has no wait. So that's 6. My dad has 3 others from another woman, and then my mom has 1 other from another man.
Oh,
6. Yeah, I forgot myself the first time.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Wait. No, that is
Are
5.
you a child of the
3,
60s
1,
or the
1. Okay.
70s?
I was twice. Oh
Were you
no,
born?
I was born
Oh,
in the. I was born in '88. So
88. Oh, I have a daughter that was born in 88. My oldest. Oh, I'm old
um,
enough to be your mother.
yeah, I once
Yeah.
dated a woman who was the same age as my mother. Actually, she was my last serious relationship.
Oh, that's too bad. That means that you
Yeah.
guys aren't together.
Well, drugs got in the way, but that ended in 2016.
Oh, that was your last relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, everybody was kind of scoffing at that because she was actually like, just a couple, like she was exactly the same age as my mom. And I thought that
Oh,
was funny. Yeah.
well, I mean, maybe you just naturally knew what you wanted.
Yeah, I'm attracted to all types.
Yeah.
More drawn to personalities most of the time, but yeah, I tend to. I mean, my track record says I favor older women. To some degree. My daughter's mom is 7 years older than me, so we have that.
Okay.
But my son's mom and I are the same age.
All right. So you're okay with you guys get along together?
No, no,
No.
I don't get along with either of them for a while now. So that's a whole other thing. Yeah. Uh,
That's a can of worms.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I played my part in it. No
Yeah.
blame, but yeah, I'm like, we're not over it now, and I don't want to go into the whole women using kids as weapons thing, but
Oh yeah.
that's what it is. That's what it
That
is.
always burnt me when. Yeah, I hated that.
Jeepers deconverted, man. I'm sorry. I mean, well, maybe that's the way we function best. I keep like, well, I want to be in a relationship, but am I ready to be in a relationship? And the
Right.
women that seem to be attracted to me right now just aren't really what I'm looking for. And I'm trying to fix my own shit. So once I get more stabilized, then maybe I'll attract healthier partners or something.
Yeah,
Hopefully, you know.
I hear you. Yeah, I just got out of
Um,
a 33-year marriage
God, that's
myself.
so long.
Yeah, with 6 kids. I had 6 kids with him. So it was a lot.
All with
I
the
still,
same person.
yeah, with the same person.
So wait. When did you two get together?
Uh, I was 22
Okay.
and I'm 57.
And is he older, younger, same age?
He is almost 5 years older than me. So he was 27.
Okay. And I think I've
Yeah.
heard you say before he was your first partner. I hear you say that on another stream.
No, he wasn't my first. My boyfriend
Oh,
is that I'm with
okay.
now. Yeah.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So after all that time, you ended up back with your first love.
He was my first. Yeah. He was my, he was the one that I first slept with. Like, I wanted to experiment with, if you will.
Okay, okay.
That
So it
sounds
wasn't
so
like all right.
wrong. Um, anyway, yeah, we were together for, I don't know, it seemed like at least a year, but I was only 14, so I don't remember. And he was 15. We're we're 1 year and 3 days apart. And his name is Gene. And we broke up while we were just kids. He lived in Wyoming, and I was moving away from Wyoming back to New York, where I was from. And we didn't see each other, like, have any contact with each other for over 40 years until recently.
Right. How did that happen?
He reached out to me, and well, he actually reached out to me 2 years ago, and I just had a short conversation through chat. And then back in December, he reached out again, and we just started chatting back and forth.
Hmm.
At the time, I was talking to my husband about him, and my husband brought up the fact that he could tell that I was emotionally connected to him.
Okay.
And he said there's no way I could forget him. Meaning basically that I was going to choose Gene over my husband, who's David. And at first I was like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, you know? And then I got thinking about it. I'm like, maybe he does know what he's talking about. But he didn't even realize he knew what he was talking about. He just said it like, flippant way.
Yeah.
And then I was the one that came to visit Gene. At first, I was thinking we could just hang out because he was a childhood, he was a part of my childhood. Like, he was I guess, an anchor to my childhood. I guess I never put that together. Anyhow, so then one thing led to another, and I had to tell my husband that I cheated on him. And anyway, I walked out of the marriage, and my husband and I have kept it, on a business level. Like, we got to deal with this and we got to deal with that because we've been tied together we were together for 34 years and had a baby
But you're still
together.
able to communicate and work it out. It's not like a thing where it's gone
I can't
off
just
the
call
rails
him
for
and
you.
talk to him. I have to chat because he has a crazy ex-girlfriend that thinks that he wants to be with me still. It's like a soap opera.
Oh,
This came
yeah.
about after I left. He got back with her. Then he found out he was actually a father to an affair that he had while I was pregnant with our fourth child. And all this came out, and neither one of us have talked about this. I don't know if any of that made any sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a complex thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
got
got
my
married
share
in
of that too.
88. We got married in 88. Our daughter was 18 months when we got married. And then in 95, I was pregnant with baby number 4, our first son. And he screwed around on me while I was pregnant with him. And then I didn't find out until just recently, and the same with him, that he actually fathered a child. And this child is younger than our son.
Right.
So he continued to have this affair when he told me that it was just, like, it was just a quick indiscretion where he just started making out with her, and then he came to his senses. This is what he told me. But it's come out that, he was having an ongoing affair. It never came clean to me.
And so you didn't know that before you left him, though? Or did you
I
find
thought,
that out before
no.
you left him?
Well, there was like that nagging feeling when he's drinking. He gets extra horny, like
Okay.
anybody does, not just men, but women too. And he basically, whatever he would drink, there would be a lot of extra conflict in our relationship because of his drinking, because he just became a different person. So I would always think in my mind that maybe he's screwing around on me, and that's why he wants to drink, because that's the only way he can allow himself to do what he wants to do, is to drink a lot. Does any of this make any sense?
Yeah, it sounds like you and my son's mom would get along quite swimmingly. No, I don't mean any disrespect, but
Right.
no, I mean I've definitely done my share of drunk assholism, so you got to own up to it and then be like,
Well, I have
okay,
too. Yeah.
but you not you, but I'm talking to them. Yeah, yeah. You've done your own share of, things
Yeah.
too that may be, yeah, lash out a little bit. Sure. Okay. But now, yeah, let's stop doing that. But no, it's like the resentment grows so much to where I can't even have a text message conversation with my son's mom. We have to
Right.
have an app that we pay $144 a year for that's regulated by the courts so we can have like very, very strictly regulated correspondence pertaining to our child, and yeah, no room for error. It's just like it's like
Oh,
okay,
because if
wow,
you
this.
just do a normal text, it might.
Then she accuses me of being an asshole, and I accuse her of being an asshole, and then the court, they're not going to waste their time subpoenaing our text messages or looking at our phones. They're like, no, why can't you two just like work out an exchange, work out child support? No, you're in a courtroom because like, yeah, because it's like, you know I'll, my son is sick, and so I'm like, has he seen the doctor? And she's like, you're harassing me. And I'm like, okay, I just asked you if you saw the doctor. And she again, like, now I'm going to file a police report. And I'm like, okay, so that's weird, right?
So I have
And
to go
so
through
just
my
all of this going.
children in order to find out what's going on with my son and my daughter, because I have two kids that are this way that don't want to leave they don't want to leave the house. And ages 18 and 21. Josh is 18 and Faith is 21. And if I want to find out something, I have to go through my other kids. And sometimes they're not even up to date on the day to day things that are going on in the house because they have their own families. So
Right, yeah.
it's, oh, it's something. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it sounds rough. Let's I wanted to I don't since you've never heard of this, I wanted to read a little bit of Deconverted Man's thing here because I find it fun. So this is a work of, would you call it philosophy, D man? I don't know.
Lots.
Lobster original begets smart thoughts. Ernest writes intelligent scientific truth. Lobsterous. We have this lovely image here.
Why a lobster?
Preface. Um, I actually can't answer that question. Yes. Deconverted man, why a lobster? My response, did you read the Bible? Oh, we got Germania in the chat. If that is indeed the real Germania, I don't know who's impersonating Germania around here, but y'all behave now. Behave.
That's funny.
Why not a lobster? We call our book The Lobsteress because it saves us a bit of time from saying the longer title that it was formerly known by. Lobster original begets smart thoughts. Ernest writes intelligent scientific truth. In this book, you will read only facts and truths that are not only scientific in nature but thoughtful. The Ernest writes are all about morals and ethics. You will become enlightened when you read this book, and by the end, I hope you will be a lobsterist yourself. Sincerely, the editor.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think we're good so far, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lobster original. About 13 billion years ago, all there was a speck of something. We don't know why it was there, but it was. Where it was, it has been a question for ages. The answer is that the speck can be said to be floating, but floating in what? We know that water has 2 parts oxygen and 1 part hydrogen, H2O, the stuff of life, the most plentiful chemicals found in our universe, and something that things can float in. Oh, could it be possible that the speck was floating in water? Yes, not only is it possible, but it was the speck was floating in water, and pressure from that water was there. The water and speck were all there. Or was it?
Okay.
There seems that there was in fact more than this. As strange as it is, scientists have speculated that string is what everything is made of, and we have seen that matter clumps itself into round spherical objects more often than not. It should not surprise you
Whoa, wait a
then.
minute. What was that part?
The last part?
Yeah, what you just said.
Um, there seems that there was in fact more than this. As strange as it is, scientists have speculated that string is what everything is made of, and we have seen that matter clumps itself into round spherical objects more often than not.
Okay.
You'd agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
It should not surprise you then that there was a thing that was made of string and clumps of matter arranged in a way that today we would call spaghetti and meatballs. Although we think that the thing had no way of knowing, it seems that it is possible that it could have. This creature flew around or swam around the great waters. We know it as the Great Flying Spaghetti Monster, or FSM for short.
Okay. FSM.
Of course, it is not really made out of spaghetti, and it is in no way a monster, but our limited brains cannot comprehend what it is. So this idea must suffice. This great being swam around, but it was lonely, so it made the very first thing a lobster.
Why a lobster?
Two pincers, a regal tail, a hard shell, whiskers, a thing of beauty, of perfection. The lobster originally swam in the great sea contently. Oh, the lobster original swam in the great sea contently. That's the purpose. But it was hungry, very hungry. The FSM was not too bright a creature, for the lobster realized it could eat it, and it did one day. The FSM was no more.
It ate
Ah,
itself.
I see.
Okay.
No, it ate the flying spaghetti monster.
Oh,
Yes, yes. The lobster created by the flying spaghetti monster ate the flying spaghetti monster.
okay.
Because
How?
the flying spaghetti monster forgot to give it food.
Oh,
Yeah. However, the lobster now grew in power, and it could now do what the FSM did, and it noticed the small speck and pinched it. And the speck started expanding quickly, pushing the waters out of the way. The lobster teleported itself far away to watch, and saw the speck grow and grow, and our universe was born. The lobster original saw that the universe was devoid of lobsters and sent some chemicals around to land where they might land. The lobster knew that this would start a chain reaction on at least one planet, and it did. That planet is ours, of course, but perhaps others as well. Only the lobster original knows for sure.
huh.
I think that's a good place to stop for now.
Okay. uh,
what do you think of this so far? Is this
I can relate to some of that. Yeah, I think I can. I feel like I can make a connection with it.
I feel like I'm channeling Carl Sagan when I do this. Is that does that resonate with anyone else? Because
Uh, sure.
we're on a pale blue dot. Um, so yeah, I guess this is the part where I definitely need to call my. We're getting close to an hour. We'll wrap up at the hour, I
Okay.
guess. Do you have anything else you want to say though? We got like 5.5 minutes. 5.5 minutes. I don't want to like
Uh,
cut it off, but I do have to.
I feel like you gave me quite a bit to think on.
Well,
I,
I'm always happy
yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. I'm always a deep thinker. Like I can't shut it down unless
Yeah.
I'm
Do you have
exhausted. If I'm exhausted, I can shut it down.
right, right, yeah. Um I know what you mean. So yeah, it sounds like you're definitely on the spectrum with us. So it's just whatever you decide to do about it. I don't, encourage people to, I don't know. I'm just saying it's once you start looking into it and seeing people with similar experiences and you start identifying that thing and then you're like, for me at least, that's been my way to like really start coping with this and try to make healthier decisions, and
So do you
so yeah, I'm like,
so do you have to steer clear of certain things?
not entirely.
Okay.
There are situations I realize I have to um, just consciously slow myself down in order to process them. There are
Okay.
things I will steer clear of, like if I can, like avoidance. But like right now in my life, it's part of what I want to do is challenge myself to not avoid that thing, you know to not be as affected by it, to train myself in some way. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Like don't run away from the trigger, address the trigger and figure out how you're going to manage yourself around the trigger, because
Right.
ultimately that's what it is. It's self-regulation. Your triggers can't do anything to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Wow, you've been really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And to say that's not to like people with severe PTSD and stuff, they have a totally different thing going on, that I'm not trying to downplay what that is. I'm just saying for some people we're able to manage triggers differently. So yeah, um, yeah, I think it's been an enriching conversation, and we got to read some of the Lobsterist, which was very fun.
Yeah.
Um,
I watched a movie, I think, that was called The Lobsteress.
did
Have you
you?
ever have you ever
I
seen
No,
it?
I haven't heard of that. No.
Well, I'm trying to recall the title if it was The Lobsteress. I'll have to look it up, but
Hmm.
I keep thinking about that movie because he's like got claws and he's trying to interact with a woman, but he's got these claws and he can't.
Oh, I do think I remember that. He says it's called the
Oh, the lobster.
Lobster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and that I think that's like based on not like based on partially based on a real condition. I don't know if it's based on a true story, but some people actually have that where their hands are kind of deformed like that, I guess.
Isn't
I mean, they're
that
not
weird?
actual claws. I don't know if that's what the I've never seen the movie, but
Huh. Hmm. All
well,
right, I can let you
Lobster
go.
1015. All right, Jody, thank you for coming by,
Thank
and
you.
yeah, welcome back anytime. All right,
All right. Have
be
a good
well.
one.
The Lobster 2015, in a dystopian near future, according to the laws of the city, single people are taken to the hotel. What the hell? Okay. I don't know anything about this. I'm dead. This has been my little ditty for tonight, I guess, and thanks and stuff. I got Germania, of course. My guest Jody, deconverted man. I had Skyworks 600 somewhere back there. Spooky bed hair, Bree. Um, much love to everybody, and wish me luck for tomorrow. Or today. It's technically today, I guess. A few hours from now, when hopefully I'll be actually moving to the other place, and we'll try to host a stream to housewarm. Be well, be kind, stay trusty. You know the drill. See you next time.